Good afternoon. I'm Muriel Bowser, the Mayor of Washington, D.C., and I am joined by members of my economic development team and the leadership of the Downtown D.C. and Golden Triangle Bids. We're at the beautiful Willie Mama Theater in downtown D.C., and we just released our D.C. Action Plan and public realm plan. So with that, I'll take a few questions. Press questions, press questions, press questions. Yes, Mark.
Yeah, for you, Mayor Bowser, $400 million. I mean, I think that, the two things that jump out, one, the price tag for this. You're the one who has got to put a budget forward, you and the council. What are your thoughts on funding this?
I think it's imperative that we're making strategic, catalytic investments in growing our city and growing the economy of our city. I think you heard very well from Executive Director Argyrides that the cost is an investment with a return on the investment many times more than what the investment would be. So my job right now is to look at these recommendations, and I'm grateful to Leona and Jaron for advancing them. I asked them to work with the Action Plan Committee quickly but thoroughly and bring forth recommendations that were well formed and could compete in this budget process, but in the budget processes for years to come. So I think what we have before us is some recommendations totaling over $400 million over 5 years.
Mayor, if the Caps and Wizards do end up leaving D.C., how will it affect these two plans, these two action plans that you presented today?
I think that I'm trying to make sure I got your question right. So if our teams vacate, we're still going to be investing in the downtown. The investments in the downtown were necessary before the announcement we heard in December. They're largely, our downtown has been impacted by the change in work. I think everybody knows that. Fewer workers in a downtown that's over 80% commercial office space has a big impact on not only vibrancy, but on the value of the buildings. So the investments we're talking about are related to the comeback plan that I launched last year, as well as these implementing plans that you've heard about today. Yes.
Yeah, Mayor, there are a lot of ideas discussed today. Did anything jump out at you as like, wow, that is something we should do right away?
I mean, I got to tell you, I love a lot of what I heard. And I especially love the view, and it's, while we've been talking about it and investing in it and working towards it already, seeing it on one page, how the public spaces, our beautiful public spaces in downtown connect, I think it's going to make a big difference. And when we're talking about more people living in downtown, those public spaces are more than a nice to have for workers. It's a must have when you have more and more people living in neighborhoods. I also like, though we talk about it a lot like internally, really branding the 5 nodes in a way. Sometimes, and I'm guilty of this myself, I talk about the downtown like it's, you know, it's one big same place. It really isn't. It's a lot of very distinct places that have different personalities, different needs, and will lend themselves to different opportunities. So it is important that that's how we talk about it, that's how we think about it, that's how we market it, that's how we service those different areas. So I think there's a lot of good material here for us to work with.
I have a question for the downtown leaders.
Sure.
You mentioned the $483 million annual revenue. When will the district start to experience that?
Sorry, is that okay to address this? Yeah, so when we talk about the return on investment, the way we were really thinking about the economic analysis of this plan, it's investments that will be made over the course of 5 years, beginning in this current fiscal year. So you heard the number $401 million over 5-year investment. That impact we'll begin to see after the 5 years, and really it'll continue to grow beyond. We mentioned that this report that we've released today is our highlight document. We have a more comprehensive analysis that will delve a little deeper into some of the extent of that return. So we actually think it could be even larger. So we're going to delve into that a little bit more, and that'll be available very soon.
Yeah, and this is based on full implementation, but what will happen is, as different pieces of this, because it's not all going to be implemented at once, right? And so it'll be implemented over the 5 years as the funds become available and as the projects are delivered. So it will start as soon as you can. I think once you see housing abatements and you see some of the buildings deliver, you will definitely begin to see the real estate impact. I think what we're also going to see is investment begin to come to this market, right? Once we announce a vision and a plan, we're hoping to attract additional investors and buyers, open up some capital to make some of these projects happen. So this will unfold over the next 5 to 10 years, but it can start as soon as some of these changes begin to be delivered.
Mentioned this, and Mayor, if you could elaborate as well, the component of public safety for people to feel safe and be safe to come take advantage of these spaces.
Yes. What's your question?
How important is that? Because a lot of people that I know are saying they don't want to come downtown even during the day for fear of being carjacked.
Okay. A lot of people come downtown. If you don't believe that, just walk around the downtown and you'll see people downtown. So I don't want to base it on any anecdote that you're sharing. I want to actually look at the number of people that have returned to the metro. I want to look at the number of federal workers that have experienced one of their highest ridership days last week. I want to look at the arts venues that are selling out and the restaurants who are welcoming people and the people who are getting on and off of buses in the downtown and throughout the District of Columbia. So I want you to be clear about what is happening. And for anyone who is concerned, we want them to know that we put public safety at the top of our list of priorities, and we're going to continue to do so. Already this year, we're seeing the trend going in the direction we want it to go. So I don't ever consider 1 month or a few months as a trend that we can rely on. So we're going to keep putting our foot on the gas on the public safety reset of our ecosystem that we need. One step in that process is the bill that the council will vote on next month, and we hope that they get that going just as soon as possible.
For Leona or Jaron, I had a question about the downtown abatement part of the recommendation. Is the goal there to try to accelerate implementation of that? I know it's supposed to start, I think, 2028. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so some of the regulatory changes that actually Jaron talked about that are in the report, and there are many more things in the report that's online than what we touched on today, but some of them are meant to kind of create an environment whereby once the project starts, or actually even at this point, you can move much more quickly. And we feel that speed to market is an important element, right?
Obviously, piggybacking off Leonard's question, since it would obviously help to have the Caps and Wizards as a base to draw off of here, given that that's running into issues in Virginia, are you reaching out to Ted Leonsis, offering anything else to try to keep those teams here to kind of build off that for this downtown plan?
Well, I have tasked the Gallery Place Chinatown Task Force which obviously complements everything that we've talked about here, was advancing a vision that includes the Washington Capitals and the Washington Wizards. We have a $500 million offer currently on the table, and we know what that would help Monumental do is completely recast the Capital One Arena. What I don't want anybody to think that the Capital One Arena, just the way it is good enough, because part of what we know is that it could be more interactive with the streets that surround it. And part of our visioning process for what's next for Gallery Place in Chinatown includes a vision with the Capitals and the Wizards and one without.
Is there any more that you're offering him at this point, though, since
I don't have anything else to say about that.
Couple off topics.
Sure.
Can you comment on WAMU's decision to shutter DCS, not just to fire everybody there, but to kill the archives of all the work that those journalists have been done, the layoffs that we still don't really know clearly how badly it's going to affect WAMU and their coverage? And then, do you still plan on participating in Kojo's show on Friday when he returns to the air?
Yes, I do.
Can you comment on your thoughts on what WAMU did to DCS, the way they did it? And
Actually, Mark, I would have to learn more. I haven't, the university hasn't contacted me, nor have the workers contacted me, so I don't know that I know exactly what's happening there. Obviously, we support local journalism. We think it's important to the work that we do because it is more important that our residents are informed and can participate. We think that we have a better government and better outcomes when that happens. So I do hope that there is a rational process and a fair process for everyone, and that people can have good quality jobs.
And then can I ask you if you're any closer to a decision on the body-worn camera release?
No, I still have some work to do on that. All right. Last question.
Just another off topic. There's been some talk about pressure to move up the vote on the public safety bill you support. Are you encouraging the council to vote on that as soon as possible, not even wait till next week?
Well, the council meets on Tuesdays. I don't think they meet tomorrow, so they would have to call a special meeting to meet this week, which I think would be highly unlikely. I think I will focus my attention on making sure that they pass the bill without watering it down. Thank you, everybody.